Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Scanner School. We are here on a Saturday morning to talk about the scanner radio hobby. So I'm glad to have everybody here who's watching us live. If you're catching us during a replay, that's fine. You can go ahead and leave a comment in the description below. So again, we are back, right? That's the motto, I guess, for this year. It's "We're back, baby." and we got to get rid of these headphones. I don't know how people do that with the live streaming and hearing themselves on delay. I find to be extremely annoying. So we're back. We're here, and we are going to make this a routine again. So if this is the first Saturday of the month, we are planning on being live here on YouTube. And if this is your first time here, welcome. And for everybody else who has watched this in the past, welcome back. So again, leave a comment in the chat if you're watching this live. Again, leave a comment in the description below if you are catching this on a replay. And we'll go through and answer your scanner radio questions. So we have a couple of check-ins already. And again, I have my chat box over here to the side. So apologize for looking off screen a couple times. But we have Chris is in. Who Knew is also in. Good morning, Who Knew? Good morning, Chris. Chris is in from Michigan. And then we got KF6OLC. Good morning from San Francisco. Early good morning to you, too. Waterford, Michigan, checking in from KC8BDR. Jenny is in. Jenny, how you doing? From Central Ohio. And Adam is also in from Michigan. Lots of Michigan in this morning. Lots of Midwest. Here we go. Tony is in also from Ohio. So a lot of Midwest. So again, if you've got a question for me, you can go ahead and leave that down here in the corner. There we go. Upstate New York. Getting ready. Well, I guess you guys already have snow. We're looking at getting snow on Monday here. I'm on Long Island, so it's still kind of iffy, kind of a dusting as to what it is that we can expect to get down here. Again, like I'm saying, we're here to talk about the scanner radio hobby, what's going on in recent news, and also what is your questions and everything else that relates to the hobby. So there is one thing, I actually have to dig it up. There's something that I posted over in our Discord server a couple of days ago. There's something new that somebody is working on. And let me just go ahead and click on this. There we go. So I posted over in our Discord server that somebody is working on different firmware for the Uniden scanner radios. And I'm really excited about this because I kind of feel like if somebody can do this for Uniden, maybe this can bring some life back into some of the Whistler products and change the back end out a little bit so we can keep pushing data to some of these Whistler products that are kind of in limbo right now. So I am actually just bringing up my Discord right now, if I can find it, so I can click on the link and share it with you guys. All right, so I found this online. This is what they're calling CFT, or Custom Firmware Tuner, for Uniden scanners. And what's really interesting about this is that it should allow you to add in, well, look at the magic thing here, if you have the encryption keys for a trunk system, legally if you have the encryption keys, not only for a trunk, but I guess also for conventional, right? You can put the key in here and it will allow your scanner radio to monitor those encrypted transmissions. Now, I have not played around with this. And again, this is not something that will allow you to find and seek out the keys, right? This is not what this is. This is basically something that you load over on top of the existing firmware in the scanner. And then what happens is you can then add in the key so that you can then go ahead and listen to those. So again, I haven't played around with this. And honestly, besides the first time I saw this and posted a link to this over in our Discord, this is the second time I'm actually looking through some of the notes here. So we are going to dig into this, and I really, before I dig into this, I want to find out if there's a way that I can save the firmware that's already in some of my scanners so that if I want to back out of this, that it's possible to do so. I don't know if there's a way to do that. But again, it says right here, important, right? This custom firmware will not find the encryption key. It's something that you need to do, basically have it ahead of time legally in order for you to know that information. There we go. I'm just checking out my stats, making sure that we still have a healthy stream. All right, it supports trunking modes on DMR. It supports, again, NXDN, DMR. You will need to have those in your scanner ahead of time. So it's interesting what this allows you to do. Again, you get some demo timeframes here, and then it does require a license to unlock the key. So at least you can test it out, see if it's going to work before you go ahead and commit. License is only done via crypto, which is a little interesting. You know, okay, through PayPal. Here we go. Let's see, through PayPal, through intermediate. It's interesting. Interesting how it works. So again, you've got an email address, a Twitter, Telegram. I've never used Telegram, but that's in there. So it's something different, right? And something that's out there that we didn't have prior to the last time that we spoke. And again, this is something that I was saying I'm a little bit excited about, because if somebody can write custom firmware for a Uniden scanner, then again, I'm hoping that that means that there's the ability to kind of overlay this or change the firmware on GRE, Radio Shack, or Whistler products that maybe can allow us to do some more with those radios, because they have been basically the protocol and the communication standard that allows you to upload to Whistler products has been under lock and key, right? That whole I forget what they call it, but the whole sequence of commands and everything else. A Whistler radio is my stats again, and it looks like that we might be buffering a little bit. I apologize for that. Hopefully we're still good here. All right, well, I was talking to myself there for a second there. I forgot to start streaming, so we're really shaking down this system here. All right, so Whistler, and they're going out of business. I really don't want to jump to conclusions just yet. Yes, it does look grim. It does look like there is an issue going on, and Whistler may be completely gone. What concerns me, though, is the fact that Whistler came in and they had a cash cow, right? They bought the rights from GRE to resell scanner radios, and they didn't really make too many changes to the product, right? We've got the TRX-1 and the TRX-2. That's a Whistler product, but everything prior to that was a GRE product with a Whistler badge on the case, okay? Even with Radio Shack, it was all GRE's products with now the Whistler new model number to indicate that it's a Whistler product and not a GRE product. And when you think about how Radio Shack went out of business, right? If you just bought a company expecting to say, hey, I've got a revenue source baked into this, it's worth a little bit more, and then Radio Shack goes out of business, now all of a sudden your avenue to sell your product dried up completely. And I think that was a lot of what led to the demise of Whistler. They also didn't seem like they were too interested or had the resources to work in the scanner radio development world. They abandoned the TRX-100 and the TRX-200. And again, this happened right around the time that Uniden was coming out with the SDS-100 and the SDS-200. And the whole point of all those scanners was to combat the simulcast areas, right? The simulcast P25 issues. And Whistler kept saying, hey, we're going to have this, we're going to have this, we're going to have this. And it was, oh yeah, we weren't able to develop this. And they've been selling the old legacy GRE product and the TRX-100 and 200 now, again, as their flagship models. But anybody who is in an area that requires simulcast has either got to get creative with the TRX-100 or 200, or they've got to go over to the Uniden platform. And then again, we've lost the ability to use EasyScan because the database updates weren't happening. They weren't going to the website. Does that mean that the guy that was running that script left the company? Well, we had a Band-Aid solution where you could download the database and then push it to your computer and overwrite the existing database you had. Okay, well, that kept us going on our scanners, but that doesn't solve the issue. And again, the issue is that something on the back end isn't working. So there was a lot of little red flags going on or being raised on the Whistler front. And I really don't like to see that. But when you have proprietary software, when you have something that is only managed by one company and maybe a handful of individuals, if something happens to that company, unfortunately, you know, all their products kind of go the way of the dodo, I guess you could say. Something that some of us may have remembered is the Radio Shack Pro 107. That was an early easy scan piece of software. And there hasn't been support for that radio in well over a decade. So, again, Whistler has a track record of abandoning products. So, let's take a look over at the Whistler website. Before this was, well, the good news is that things look the same as they did last week. Let's take a look over here. This is the Whistler website as it stands right now, okay? And I said, this is good news. Why is this good news? Well, somebody paid their bill, first of all. Originally, this was coming up as unresolved, right? That the website was completely down and that the URL wasn't going anywhere. Now it goes to a Shopify store. Okay, well, the Shopify store is down, but at least you know there's a Shopify account up and running for Whistler Group. That means at least somebody ran the maybe the year or the monthly subscription through their credit card. The storefront is down. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, the storefront is down because they're unable to fulfill orders, that they don't have any employees. I mean, there's 1,001 reasons why the storefront could be down like this. All right. I mean, I know I can do it when I want to go on vacation and I close up my storefront. You know, that's one way of doing it. It's tearing down shop for a little bit. They could be restructuring. They could be moving their inventory. They could be getting ready to relaunch. They could simply be redoing their back end, or they could be getting ready to sell everything to somebody else, right? We don't know. But the long and short of it is at least we have a destination, right? WhistlerGroup.com is going somewhere. And it wasn't doing that for a while. So that, again, makes me, you know, feel okay. So we will see how that goes. Let me see if we have any questions showing up in the chat right now, and let's see what we got here. It looks like our frame rate is looking good, which is awesome. Let me maximize this here so I can get some more stats. There we go. All right. Let's see. We've got anything new. Ken is saying audio buffering. Evan was saying the buffering. Chris is saying the buffering. And again, it looks like the stats are looking pretty good now. Jenny's saying that streaming audio is awesome now. I freed up some bandwidth somewhere. Yeah, I think it's more related with the computer because I've got a gig service at the house, so something's going on with this 2-year-old Mac. Let's see. Kenneth's saying they couldn't adapt to the new SDR world. Well, I mean, if you think about it, Kenneth, yeah, the SDS 100 and 200 is based off of the SDR platform. And again, that's probably why the TRX 100 and 200 failed, because they could not adapt to that. But the SDR world, I love the SDR world. For you who don't know, I started a free course, and I'm getting back into doing more advanced topics with the SDR platform. And it is the way things are going. I mean, if you look at some of the amateur radio world too, right? A lot of the HF equipment has waterfalls, and you can also take retrofit some of your older gear and bring that into some SDR software. I love my SDR software. I don't have anything set up yet. Again, the computer's behind me, even all these radios, right? They're not powered on yet. And again, we'll take you through the journey to get all of that set up and running on my end. Jenny, I'm hopeful here. It says maybe they're recognizing and getting ready to blow our socks off. Yeah, I mean, that would be wishful thinking. But we'd also hope to see that we would have some information in the meantime, right, to share and to go through that while they were out. But they've lost their PR person, which was Whistler Wendy. We know on the Uniden side, we've got Joe Bearcat. We had Paul Opitz, who passed away many years ago. And then even on the Unication side, they have a tech advisor who comes on to Radio Reference every now and then to speak about what's going on in the Unication side of things. So, Quinte, sorry, if I butcher your name there. Will there be a video about the Waterfall feature for the SDS 100-200? Yes. So for those of you who don't know, I've been battling stage 4 cancer for a couple of years now. And now that I am off of my treatments and things look like they're in my rear view, at least for now, we are getting back into creating content, showing up live and being here for you guys. And part of that will be videos about the SDS 100 and 200. And I'm just going to write that down here on my pieces of paper that I like to keep around my desk, just to make sure that I've got that documented, that it's something that I need to work on. And in fact, I have been holding off on buying the upgrade for my SDS 100 and 200 because I want to go through the upgrade process, document it, record it, so that you have a full tutorial front to back on how to purchase, apply, and then use the Waterfall features. So I'm just writing it right here, SDS 100, 200, Waterfall video. There we go. There's my official to-do list. I'm an old school guy, pen and paper all the way. All right. And then Evan is saying amen. So amen being you want the video or you're hoping that Whistler comes around. So again, I'm looking for your questions. If you have any questions that you'd like to share or any questions you'd like to ask me, please go ahead and drop those over into the comment section if you are watching this live. And if you're catching this on a replay, please go ahead and leave them in the description because we do catalog the questions. We may not be able to answer them right away, but we are cataloging them so we can go back to them and answer them. Hopefully something like this where I can just give you a video response to that. All right, so looking at, Evan's saying the cancer recovery. All right, excellent. Yes, we're pretty ecstatic about that. Not out of the woods, but definitely in a lot better position than I have been over the last couple of years. So yeah, we did chemo, we did surgery, we did medications, and we've also done radiation. So yeah, it's been a lot, been a long journey. So took its toll, but again, we're still here to talk about it. So that's a good thing, right? Every day I wake up on this side of the soil, right? And side of the dirt, we're having a good morning. Trying to think if there's anything else that we can go through here. I'm not seeing too many questions. Somebody's got to have something out there they can ask me. We are playing around with some things. One of the things I did pick up, which is a little interesting, is one of these little flipper zeros. Would like to play around with this. There's a lot of stuff out there that we can listen to with this device here. There's a lot of stuff you can do that's, you know, a little bit on the wild side, and not so wild side. This is one of these devices that kind of has a little bit of a reputation, but there's a lot we can do with this in the RF world. So part of that is looking at the ISM frequencies and looking to see what data bursts are out there. I guess it's, again, something you could do with the software-defined radio. So if you want to think about the Hack RF, right? This is more of a handheld version of that, a little bit not as blown apart as a Hack RF device, but there is a frequency RF spectrum analyzer, I guess you could say, in here, so you can see what's around you. Would definitely need an upgrade so I can get a better antenna on here, because I hear the reception on it's not so great. But just something on to see what's available, right? Instead of carrying a scanner radio with you, to sniff out an RF environment, yeah, it looks like you can use a flipper 0 to do that, and we'll talk about how to do that with a 0 if it is possible. And let's see, Adam is wondering if I will talk about the FCC Part 95, especially when it comes to GMRS. Yeah, that's something we can to look at. Trying to keep things more on the scanner radio world, but it doesn't hurt to talk about GMRS since a lot of people are into both hobbies. So let's talk about Part 97. Let me see if I can write that more legible for myself so I know what I'm talking about. Part 95, sorry, Part 95, GMRS. What else we got in here? I was saying, like to do live streaming, broadcasting, live events. Any suggestions as far as desktop software allow me to switch from one scene to another? So I'm using OBS right now, and it's free. A lot of people have a lot of success with it with live streaming. You can do a whole bunch of different scenes. So if you had the ability to bring in, you know, remote cameras, or you want to bring in a scanner feed, or you want to bring something else into that, you can definitely do that through OBS. I've done it. I've done live air shows with this where I bring in my scanner radio and I overlay it with ADSB exchange or something like that, so to give it kind of an audio visual thing going on there. So I think that is what you're talking about. Manycam, I haven't heard about that. Take a look at Manycam for myself too. I definitely need something to get around all these OBS issues that I'm having. If it is an OBS issue, again, I haven't really figured out. But again, we've been stable now since I did the reboot, so I don't really know what's going on. Maybe there's something running in the background that's staying running after a scene ends or something. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Ken is saying some shady stuff with a flipper. Exactly. There's some shady stuff with this, but we can also do some good with this, right? They call it ethical hacking, right? For example, somebody took a flipper and they threw a bunch of Bluetooth commands to an iPhone to watch it reboot, and then sent that over, and Apple's like, okay, we have an issue, let's patch it up, right? So ethical hacking, I guess you could say that way. But I want to be able to use it in a scanner radio environment, just to kind of see how we can use it that way. Let's see here. Jenny's saying, what software do you recommend to make programming the Bearcat BCD996 XT? I bought it used and it's nice, great shape. Things just changed where they used to be. Okay, so we have a couple of pieces of software that we can use on a 996 XT. The first one, which is the most economical, is called FreeScan. And I like using FreeScan because it allows you to easily change from one make model to another in the Uniden platform. So FreeScan does have its limitations as far as what it can support. It doesn't support DMR. And it's also out of development at this point. So the developer of FreeScan has said, this has run its course and I'm done doing what I'm doing, so I'm not going to do this anymore. The nice thing about it is that the software is on GitHub, and others have come along and patched the software so that you can program in DMR, but you have to do it, I believe, manually. So it's not as polished as it could be. So there's that. Let me see if I can get over to my other computer here and show you some FreeScan so that you got that. Let's see, I had it running on my computer here. Here we go, FreeScan app. All right, so this is what FreeScan looks like. It's basically going to be a user interface spreadsheet program. Here's one that I created. Nope, can't find the file. There we go. So here's a file I made for somebody that booked me for a tutoring session last weekend. And what we can see is we've got the groups, and we've got frequencies, right? And we can push this now to the scanner radio. In fact, I even have my scanner still hooked up to this. So if I go over to scanner and I do control scanner, I now have virtual control over my scanner radio here. So what's also nice too is I can come here and I can close this out. I can close this out. I can go to new, scanner, download programming. And let's see if we can queue up the system list. This is what's in my scanner right now. And I can start the download. And now I can easily archive what is in this scanner. This is a 325P2, but this will also work with the 996 XT. It's not super straightforward on how to use the software. I actually did create a video on this one, but never published it because it was right around the time I was going through chemo, I think, and I want to redo it actually. So we can see now I've got like this one here is blocked out, right? It's in red. So I brought in the whole trunk system here. I got to redo this actually. This is old programming, but you can see that, you know, we can control the radio, we can program the radio. We do have P25 in here, so it does make things a lot easier to set up and program. Another option we have is Butel software. So if I do ARC XT, this is software by Butel, and I am an affiliate for Butel software. If you go to scannerschool.com/Butel, that's B-U-T-E-L, you can make a purchase of their software, and I would receive credit for that purchase. And it's just full disclosure there. So again, I can open up, I can open this up, or I can actually go in and let's do a read. So we'll do software options. Okay, so we're going to close that. It's been a while. Scanner, communication setup. And again, just like the FreeScan software, right? We can find our scanner, auto detect, and it should find it on COM4. Should find it. There it is. Okay, and then we can go ahead and we can read the scanner. We'll read all systems once it's queued in. And just like that, we are downloading the information from the scanner. Again, if we wanted to upload to scanner, we could do it the exact same way. So I always find the Butel software is a little bit slower, but it does work pretty well. I like this better, to be honest with you. If I had to choose between FreeScan and ARC or Butel, I would always go with Butel software. And while we're waiting for this, because it is a little bit slower, the third piece of software is ProScan. ProScan is $50. It's a Swiss Army knife. It allows you to do a lot of stuff. You can do live streaming. You can do remote over IP, which means that you could be in your living room and control my radio from where you're sitting if it's set up that way. It does audio feeding. It does recording to a hard drive, text tags, alpha tags, programming. It allows you to program the Sentinel flavored radios as well. So you can actually take a ARC XT, convert it over to a Sentinel flavored radio, and then push it over. So if you want to clone your 325P2 to a BR330T to a SDS 100, you can do that with ProScan. And again, we are still waiting to download. There we go. So you see the time difference between one piece and the other piece, right? or FreeScan to Butel. But just as we had before, right, we've got our sites, and we can see all that here. We can get our frequencies. We can see our talk groups, right? We can look through conventional, just as we could originally. Alpha tags. In fact, we can come in here too, and if I don't like the way the alpha tags look, I can easily come in here, go to options. I can do justify alpha tags, and I can do I can move them to the right if I wanted to. I can move them to, I can center them. I can move them to the left. I can even set them up so that I can make them all uppercase if I wanted to. All uppercase. Look at that. So it makes lots of bulk changes very easy in the software. I really do like that. So I'm just going to close this out because I really don't want to write this back to the scanner. And the last one is we have ProScan. Let's see if I can just launch ProScan quickly here. And it might show up on a different monitor. Nope, here we go. And I have an old version on here. It's been a while. We'll allow this for now because I do want this to go through. Right now, I set up for my 536 HP, which is on my desk over here. It's not hooked over there, but we can come in here, scanner type, and we can change all that to the 996. A little bit more bulky to set up. So we go scanner port. We'll set this up for port 4, and we'll go auto detect, right? Port 4. That'll be this. Close it out. So now it's showing that's a 325p2, but we can come in here, scanner type, 325p2, and create a new database. We'll just do 2025-0104, and then we get download from scanner. And just like FreeScan, just like Butel, we are able to now bring the stuff into ProScan and edit it, change it. We can import on all three pieces of software. We can import from radio reference if we wanted to. And again, things are pretty much the same, right? We've got this grid over here on the left-hand side, which is a tree structure on all the platforms. And then over here on the right-hand side, we will have basically a spreadsheet where we can come in here and make changes to the database and send it back to the radio. So we are looking to, let's see, finalize that, close this up. Again, we can pick, this was a trunk system. This is NYPD. So again, just like we had on the other piece of software, we have frequencies that we can come in here and change and upload from CSV files. We can paste, we can copy. Again, there's a clipboard feature. So, and we can also control the radio right from here. So if I wanted to click on menu, it would put the radio into menu mode. I can turn the wheel and go through everything. Same as the other two other pieces of software. So there's some software for you, Jenny, that you can use to look at the programming of your radio. All right, I am going to move this over here, and we'll get on to some more questions. All right, let's see where we are at here. So Eric is saying, can scanners still pick up fire and police? Well, that's a loaded question. So it really all depends on where you are and if there's encryption involved. Are they untrunked? So where I would say where I am, can I still listen to my police and fire? I can listen to my fire. They are not encrypted, but my police departments have been encrypted about a decade. It's been a while since I could listen to the county PD. I could listen to some of NYPD. They are encrypting. And the county over adjacent to me in Suffolk County, they haven't encrypted yet. Rumor is they want to encrypt. So we will see what happens over there in the future. So it all depends. It's very specific to where you live. You would have to go into your county, your state, and radio reference. Again, we can look at that over here. So let me go over to radio reference. And if you haven't been here before, you can go over to browse. And you can go over to your state. And I'll go over my county since I know it pretty well. And what we will normally see is, on the law enforcement, they'll say, hey, they operate on these systems, right? So we can open that in a new window. And fire, again, fire operates on this system, which is the same here. But we can look and we can say, look, there's no encryption here, right? It's all FM, FM narrow, FM, FM narrow. There's some DMR here. So for a lot of this, you can say, yes, I can listen to anything here that is not encrypted. But if I go over to the county trunk system, I notice I have capital E's. Capital E's indicate full-time encryption. So anything here under the county police is fully encrypted. We go to the fire, and we just have D's, which means digital. This means that there's no encryption here because there's no E. All right. Same with EMS. Interop does have one encrypted talk group on here. Again, we have a lot for the village police departments. Lowercase e's would be partial encryption. So you'd have to look at, in the radio reference database, you would have to look at your towns, your villages, your parish, county, whatever it is, and look to see if you can find whether or not there's encryption in your area. All right, let's see. Crayola is saying, studying for a technician exam, have a BC125, which is fun. Will I be able to hear more with an SDR 100 dongle on my phone? Well, it all depends on really where your SDR is and the capabilities of the phone. So you should be able to listen to FM and AM on that SDR on your phone, and also with the BC125 AT. So it's a wash when it comes to that. But if you use the SDR on your computer, it opens up a whole new world for you. So you can listen to sideband, you can listen to HF radio, you can listen to P25, NXDN, DMR, depending on the software you're using. If you're using DSD Plus, if you're using Trunk SDR, if you're using Unitrunker, you can listen to a lot more with a $40 dongle and your computer than you can on a BC125AT. Chris is asking, do any of your old scanners still work? They all still work, and they all will work. It's just right now I haven't gotten as far as setting them up, wiring them in. And this is all brand new, by the way. I don't know if you've seen my live feeds or videos before, but typically I had a white curtain or a green screen behind me. And that was because I didn't have any real place to sit that was presentable. So now I've got an office. I've got a studio. And a month or two ago, I set out to set all this up and stage the radios. But I still have to cable everything into an antenna system. I still have to wire everything up to power, wire everything up to audio, wire everything up to the computers. And again, I'm a little slow on doing that because I want to be able to do that with you guys. I want to be able to document the process and take you along for the ride. For example, over here, on this box here, I've got 2 Stridsberg's multi-couplers, and we will go through how I set that up and how I wire that in to my scanners and into my antenna system. So, do any of them still work? Well, I've got a handheld on the desk over there that's running. You guys already saw that. I've got a couple Unication pagers I've got sitting around here. I've got a radio over here that's running on an antenna in the attic. So there are a couple radios that are set up, but for the most part, what you can see, not yet, but it will be. There's actually, I put the power supply in that cabinet drawer over there, and we will run a heat test on there to see if I can at least run that with the door closed. I've got a feeling that we're going to leave that door off its hinges, to be honest with you. But still looking at setting all of that up. Again, with everything I've got going on over here, it's been a slow, deliberate process of getting things back up to where they should be. But again, this is a hobby, right? And this is what it's all about. This is getting things squared away and set up and trying something and then not liking it and trying something different and saying I can improve on it here. So it's all good, right? Is this the final version of what you're going to see behind me? Absolutely not. But it's the next chapter in what things used to be. And I like this a whole lot more than what I used to run. So it's already a major improvement. Let's see what we got over here too. My resolution for 2025, figure out how to get DSD Plus working. Yeah, it's a great piece of software. Can be a little bit confusing, but if you want to get started with a launch pad, I do have the free version of DSD Plus, how to get that up and running over on our free SDR course. So if you go over to where is it? Where is that link? Courses.scannerschool.com. That's what it is. We'll put that over here on the chat. And that will take you over to where our courses are, and you can get our free SDR course. The last chapter in there is how to get DSD Plus up and running. And then to get into DSD Plus, the paid version with more information, we do have some of that in the paid course, but it's been a couple of years. There's been a lot of changes, and we have to redo that, to be honest with you. All right, let's go move on. JSB says, I have a SDS 100-200 and a Unication G4. I know these scanners, pagers take care of the simulcast issues, but I still don't believe I am receiving anything that you would like to hear. A good way to see if that is happening is to run a software-defined radio side by side with your scanner radio. And if you leave your SDR on the control channel with a piece of software like DSD Plus, Trunk SDR, or even Unitrunker, it'll tell you what activity there is on the voice channels on that site, on that trunk system. And what you can then start to do is say, okay, well, my scanner, I think I'm missing transmissions. Let me visually see what is happening on this trunk system. And if you see a talk group show up and you see it on the voice channel, but your scanner isn't following it, yeah, I mean, you can start to diagnose, okay, I've got a problem with my scanner. It's not picking everything up. Another issue could be is that maybe the traffic you want to listen to is on a different site. So it may, let's break it down this way. You've got a north site and you've got a south site. And the footprint of the north site covers from here to here, or here to here. And the south site covers here to here. There's a slight overlap in the middle. So if any end user is in both sites, right? You've got 10 users and you got 5 here and 5 are on the north site, 5 on the south site, then what happens is that talk group shows up on both the north and the south site. But if all 10 of your users that are affiliated with that talk group are on the north site, then that talk group won't be on the south site. And then vice versa. If everybody's on the south site, the talk group doesn't need to be on the north site because there's no end users on that talk group up there. So why tie up resources, frequencies, right? A radio, and broadcast a talk group where there is no need to have one. As a scanner radio user, yeah, we have the need, right? We want to listen to it. But when it comes to the end paying user, right, the subscriber on that network, they might not be there. So that's when it pays to have another SDR, or see if your SDR can monitor 2 sites or 3 sites. And a lot of SDRs can handle that. But if you can't, you will need a second SDR. And that'll show you if that talk group isn't on the talk group, or it'll show you if that talk group isn't on the site that your scanner or your pager is currently monitoring. And yes, you would miss transmissions because you're not on the site that everybody is on. So that kind of, is another part of the hobby that we need to be aware of. All right, let's see. Can you still hear FDNY? As far as I know, you can still hear them. It's been a while since I've monitored them. It's just one of those things that I don't always listen to. But what I have seen is that the UHF system is not encrypted, but there are encrypted talk groups on a trunk system that operates in a city. So I'm pretty sure we can still monitor FDNY. Let's see, we've got Jenny saying, awesome, you got plenty of options. Yes, you do. And let's see, Robert's saying, what SDR do you recommend? I need 1 or 2. To start off with, a Nuelec SDR is a great one, and I believe I have an affiliate link for that one. Let me see if this works here. There we go. All right, so this is going to be an affiliate link, just so you understand. If you click on this in the chat, I will get credit for the purchase. And I need to now find where the chat disappeared to. Here we go. Okay, so what that allows you to do is to get started. It comes with a couple of antennas, and let's take a quick look over at it and see what we would get if we made that purchase. So this is the Nuelec Smart, they call it. And let's see, I believe they are up to version 5. So this may be an older version. No, it is version 5. There we go. I like version 5. It's the latest and greatest. And I've got several of these. I got plenty of them. But the price is right. The price did go up between when I bought it in 2018 and today. I think it went up like $5 or $6. But it's not bad. For less than $45 to your door, right? You get a little SDR stick, you get the antennas, and you can set this up now with free pieces of software to do more than what most handheld scanners and desktop scanners can do. So I think the barrier to entry is very low. It is a time commitment to get this set up. And again, if I can get this set up on my end, let's see if we can do here. This still works. Here we go. So here's our free course right here. You just click down here to the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Software Defined Radio, and we have an outline on what you need, setting up your computer, installing the drivers, using the software SDR Sharp, right? DSD Plus public release, and these all go through in small videos. You can leave your own notes on here on each video, so you can come back to it and remember, some of the stuff that you need to know. for yourself to do this. So it's a good, I think it's a good course. I mean, yeah, you can find some stuff up on YouTube, but the nice thing about having it in a course structure like this is that you can stop and resume later and not lose your place or get distracted, right? There's no ads on the corner, right? This is just flat out you and me on a screen, and it's a good, easy way to learn how to use your SDR. All right, let me swap back to here. And we are getting close to the top of the hour, guys. This went by pretty quick. All right, kind of saying you need to post for sale some old crystal scanners. You need to move out. Yeah, crystals were the day, right? We call that BC around here, before crystals. You can use the Discord. I know you've sold stuff over there, but for everybody else, the Discord server is a great place to talk with your fellow scan-nerds, right? That's what we call you guys, scan-nerds. Again, I'll drop that over here. I got to make some shortcut keys. And that will take us over to the Discord server, where we have a growing community. And it's nice because it's almost like a real-time chat. And we do a lot of stuff, experimentation over there, as far as what people are working on, troubleshooting. We have a couple other groups in there for smaller hobbies that kind of go hand in hand with the scanner radio hobby. And it's just a good place to hang out and, you know, check in from time to time and let everybody know that what you're working on. So let's see what else we got over here. The Pro 38, yep, there's a good little radio for you. But if the dinosaurs still work, I mean, why not, right? I just bought a dinosaur. I just bought a Fanon Slimline Courier. It was my first radio, and I wanted a second one to fire up and make some videos on without possibly destroying the caps in my radio. So it's a sacrificial radio that still has some meaning to me. Let's see what we got here. Robert is saying you'll have to get one. Yep. Oh, and you have Discovery Plus. That was stolen. Yeah, that stinks. Pro 2006. Yes, I've got a couple of those. In fact, maybe out of frame or not, but that radio right there is a Pro 2006. And I got 3 more in my closet. One of them's got the Optocom board on it, which that's pretty amazing. Let's see, we got here AR. Live on Long Island, but commute to the city and was looking for a portable scanner I could use to listen to the various Queens, Precincts, Nassau, and Suffolk PD frequencies. Can I use the Unication G5? You can use the G5, but you are going to need to change the dial on the top. You can't daisy chain trunking a conventional. You can only monitor 16 conventional channels at one time in a scan list, 64 talk groups. Nassau County PD is encrypted, so no scanner radio is going to let you listen to that one. So I would recommend something like an SDS 100. That will get you around simulcast issues, especially in Suffolk County. You could go down to the 436. But if you're going to be taking with it, and also too, don't forget that NYPD is in the process of encryption, so we're going to start losing that as well. So let me just see what the status is on that, and we'll take you over for the ride on there. So we got browse. Let's see, they got this. We got New York, NYPD, right? And you can start to see we've got citywide's encrypted, VIP's encrypted, but when we start going over to precincts, right? Queens, right now, we're looking pretty okay. The boroughs are encrypted, but when you look at some of our other, look at Brooklyn, everything here, it's pretty much encrypted in Brooklyn. So the Bronx, same story. We know this is coming, right? It's been no secret that NYPD is looking to encrypt. But what's also good too, we have in New York, we've got, too far, if we go to the trunk systems, we also have the MTA system, which may be of interest to you. NYPD is rolling out their own trunk system, Metropolitan MTAA. So we've got this here. And again, you're going to want to roll through the sites as you're traveling. So you'll have some state MTA PD, right, is on here. So with as much as there is to cover on your commute, a G5 would be great. But I think a scanner would be more flexible for you on this one. And I'm saying this as a Unication dealer, All right, I do sell Unication pagers on my website over at eastcoastpagers.com, and we need to just say that East Coast Pagers is the backer of Scanner School. Without East Coast Pagers, there'd be no Scanner School. So if you're looking to buy a Unication or Swiss phone pager or accessory, please go to eastcoastpagers.com. All right, we are going to get ready to wrap things up here shortly. Let me just make sure we've got a couple questions in here. Yeah, over in the UK, the Air Band, Marine Band, yeah. Amateur radio, but most of the stuff, right, is encrypted over in the UK, Tetra, DMR, and yeah, I know a lot of people here in the US are very worried about the hobby becoming more like what's over there where you are. I really hope not. I think we're a long ways away from seeing that, but you never know. Let's see. Wonder where Les has been. Yeah, I was actually thinking about him too, Jenny, but we've also haven't been meeting and doing our Patreon meetings and stuff like that. I know Patreon stuff has been put on pause, but if anybody is a Patreon supporter, we are meeting this coming Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. And if you'd like to help support us on Patreon, you can do so over at scannerschool.com. Patreon. And let's do that one more time over here before we transition out of here. Again, I want to thank our current Patreon supporters who have stuck with me while I was taking a little bit of a hiatus through creating content. But we are coming back, and we will have our extra credit member hangout this coming Tuesday. So if you are a Patreon member, be sure to look for that in your Patreon dashboard. And if you would like to become a Patreon supporter before then, you will see that as soon as you sign up as an extra credit member. Let's see what we have here. You cannot request the encryption key from your PD. They will not give that out. If you want a tutoring inspection session, do they expire? No, just reach out to me, and I think the code is still valid. I don't think it expires, so go ahead and try the code that I gave you. If not, reach out to me again, Jenny, and we'll take care of you again. All right. Kenneth has left the chat. He's out. He had to go to some work. And Jenny expired. No, they don't expire. So whenever you're ready, Jenny, go ahead and book that session. Evan has just bought one from your G5 and you love it. I'm glad you got one. Glad you like it. Part of the shakedown here is we're not rolling off of some of the old expired screenshots. That was supposed to move off automatically. Perfect. So yeah, Evan, glad you love it. It's a great device. It's more public safety, but a lot of people use it as a scanner. I would rather take a G5 out with me than a scanner. Just putting my SDS in my pocket scratched the screen. It was in my I had a hoodie on, and it's got the kangaroo pouch. Put it in there with my wallet of all things, and it scratched the screen. If that happened to my Unication, I doubt it would happen, but the Unication is definitely a bit more rugged than a Uniden scanner. And in fact, I want to find out if I can get a new front display from Uniden so that I can not have to look through. I mean, it's just rub marks. It's not like deep scratches, but it's still enough to seriously annoy me. So with that, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today on a Saturday. If you caught this live, thank you so much. And if you are catching us on a replay, make sure that you let us know.